You know, there's a funny story behind this Bruce Springsteen shirt I'm wearing right now. Born in the USA, it says. Very proud title of one of Springsteen's most famous songs. Most of my friends from high school and my first few years of college actually know me as the American because my English is so good and because my accent in Spanish is so darn strong. And yet even then, this t-shirt is a lie. I was never born in the United States. I was born in Arecibo in Puerto Rico, and I really grew up a couple years in the United States. 10 years in the United States versus 14 in Puerto Rico, yeah, that's pretty obvious where the advantage lies there. Anyway, thanks very much for joining me again for another exciting vlog. It's been a bit more than a week since I last tuned in with you guys. There's a bee right there. Not quite comparable to the off-screen dragonfly we had last time, but it's there. It was a very exciting week for me because I had been able to spend time with my two brothers from Florida. I hadn't seen them in over 20 years. I last saw them when I was 4. And we didn't actually manage to spend too much time together, not a lot of quality time, I guess. But we were able to hang out, and when we were hanging out, it's like nothing ever happened. It's like we'd always been able to hang out, and it was just another night with the guys. Which was all kinds of fun, I guess. We played pool, we compared notes about music, we were treated to a very nice session of me singing Free Will at a karaoke. I managed to impress my brothers with that because apparently not a lot of people sing Rush, I guess. I can see that happening, it's just that I can't imagine why someone would be impressed with my singing Rush, but okay, I'm not gonna turn down a compliment. I want to see if I can get footage of that karaoke session onto my account somehow. My brother-in-law recorded it on his cell phone. Genius move on his behalf. I floored my mother with that as well. I need to see if there's a way to transfer that data to my laptop because the world needs to see me floundering at Rush. Also, there was this one particularly excitable guy who just jumped on stage with me and started playing air guitar. The guy stole my thunder, I swear to God, but holy crap. Was it just one heck of a crazy night. The guy went so far as to offer to buy me a drink afterwards after stealing my show, as it were. I turned that offer down because I have never been in a situation where someone would actually buy me a drink. It's just weird for me. That's a pretty big compliment to give someone, and for someone like me who's just not used to getting compliments, well, yeah, it's just really out there. I was also able to meet my niece for the first time, and this is kind of important because my niece is already 3 years old. I don't really think I left much of an impression on her, but she certainly left an impression on me. This girl is a living gremlin, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. I mean, not only is she extremely energetic, she will win you over with that nasty pranksterish laugh of hers. I swear to freaking God. She puts Sniddly Whiplash's dog to shame with that nasty little gremlin laugh of hers. And she's a very active girl as well, so she will hide your shoes. One flaw associated with having my niece around is that in order to distract her on our car trips, we'd have to play Frozen on the car's monitors. You know, I saw that movie once and it didn't exactly win me over in any real way or form. Thank goodness she was able to hear that movie on her headphones because I don't need to hear Let It Go any more times in my life. Or any other song from Frozen for that matter. Except for maybe Frozen Art. I think that's the only really good song in that whole movie. I am not sorry. I've also been able to get a lot of reading done over this vacation. Kind of boring to talk about, but you know, the first time you read an Asimov book, I think, if you're into science fiction, is something worth talking about. I read The Caves of Steel, and pretty good book, I guess. Why the heck did I not add it? I guess that's a great book. Also, I read Scott Pilgrim for the first time. I don't want to get too in-depth here, but holy crap, is it nice to have a book that showcases just how stupid being a general nerd can be. And I think I'll just leave it at that. In other areas concerning books, the other day we were able to visit an old used bookstore around somewhere in Tacoma, I think. Holy crap. You know, ignoring that the place was right next to a Five Guys, wow, man. Like, I mentioned this in my last video, but bookstores, or at least decent bookstores, are hard to find in Puerto Rico because there's just not as much of a culture for reading over in Puerto Rico. So I go to this big chain bookstore that could just as easily have been a Borders in another life, and you find an old, used, annotated copy of The Hobbit in hardcover. You go to the graphic novel section and you find almost the entirety of the original Tenjo Tenge run, you know, the one that had been redrawn by O'Great. I think the coolest thing I found in there was almost the entirety of the Outlander series, written and drawn by Joji Manabe. It's an old release from the 1980s that I had been dying to get my hands on that I could barely find on the internet to begin with. Just holy crap, man. My family had to drag me out of that place. Also worth talking about, the Five Guys that was right next door. I had never been to a Five Guys before. And I said this to the very cute cashier who was working there, and I'll say it again. Five Guys really needs to start working with milkshakes because that's the only thing they're missing. Their burgers are phenomenal, and while their fries may be a little over-seasoned, their Cajun fries are to die for. I think the only fries I've ever had that are better than that are from Checkers. In fact, if I had to give another fly, it's that they almost gave me too much food. I just got full while eating my Cajun fries, and I knew that I got to the point where if I ate any more, I was just going to make myself sick. So it's a pretty awesome day when you think to yourself, they gave me too much food. Also good eating was this really, really nice food cart I was able to visit someplace over in Portland. We drove all the way to Oregon, apparently, because Portland is in Oregon. I didn't know that. My geography's messed up. To visit a few friends of my brothers, and they had this weird little field, like a couple blocks away, that were a bunch of food carts were set up. There was this one southern-style place that served you chicken in maple syrup. I didn't think it would be very good, but holy crap, was that chicken sandwich freaking awesome. They had a ramen cart around there as well, and I was tempted, but chicken won out in this case. Still want to try ramen though. It's one of those things I gotta try first, because, you know, the styrofoam cup stuff, it's one thing, but the real stuff I hear is a completely different beast. You know, I may as well be repeating myself with this, but it really was nice being able to spend time with my brothers again for the first time in almost 20 years. And honestly, I kind of hope I can be able to see them again sometime soon. Particularly in Florida, especially now that I know that they're both very up on Street Fighter Alpha. I'm not good at Street Fighter Alpha, but I'm looking forward to being able to use Sakura against them. I need more people to play Street Fighter against. All things considered, this vacation's actually working out for me pretty damn well. I think I'm actually getting used to the temperatures around here. But of course, it's way too soon to think about this vacation ending. So if you excuse me, I've got more fun stuff to do. This is Mouse in the House, signing off.